Office Christmas Party is a movie directed by Will Speck and Josh Gordon. It's a movie that stars a shit ton of comedic talent. I mean, you've got Jason Bateman, TJ Miller, Jennifer Aniston. Okay, she's not technically comedic talent, but she's insanely sexy. You've got Olivia Munn, you've got Kate McKinnon. And the movie is... Is there even any point in addressing the plot of this movie? If you're going into this movie this weekend to see it, are you really expecting the plot of the movie to be any different than what the title of the movie is? The title of the movie says Office Christmas Party. Guess what? It's exactly what the fucking movie's about. There are some executives or people who work at this really cool company and they decide to throw a big Christmas party so that they can land the account of this uptight asshole. And if they land this account, then the head of the company's mean sister, who's like the CEO of the entire company, won't shut them down. So, party and raunchy stuff and dick jokes and, you know, the usual. 2016 has been a very down year for me in terms of comedy. And so I went into this movie knowing that yes, there is a bunch of talented people working here, but also there's a 60-40 chance that the movie's going to be complete shit. I wonder which side of the 60-40 I fell on. Well, that's kind of what we're here to talk about. If I had one word to describe this movie, it would be harmless. This is a very fun, disposable Christmas holiday comedy that doesn't really do anything for you long term, but in the short term, if you want to turn your brain off and just laugh at stupid shit happening on screen for the sake of stupid shit happening on screen, this movie can do that for you. And the comic talent involved with this cast would lend you to believe that a large part of this movie is funny. And is it? Moments. TJ Miller, who I usually am not a fan of, I don't really like TJ Miller. I don't think that he's that funny in most of the shit that he's in. I actually thought that he was pretty cool in this movie. I actually thought that he was one of the best parts of the movie. His character is funny, but also has a lot of heart, and he's kind of dumb, but he's a lovable idiot, and we always gravitate towards the lovable idiots if they're written well. He and Kate McKinnon are honestly the best parts about this movie. They have the funniest parts. Kate McKinnon plays this HR department head, and she's really PC. She's like obsessed with rules and regulations and shit. She's not just doing what she's done in previous comedy movies where she's just sitting there staring at the camera like, no, she's not doing any shit like that. So she's actually kind of fun to watch in this movie. I feel like I should mention this, but Jennifer Aniston is immortal. That's the only explanation at this point. I mean, seriously, I feel like I should bring this up. How is Jennifer Aniston still as hot as she was when she was in her 20s? I mean, that shit doesn't make any sense. What is she, pushing 50 at this point? And she's still insanely sexy, and she was insanely sexy in this movie. At this point, it's pretty clear that she dipped her twat into the fountain of youth or something. There's no other explanation for why Jennifer Aniston at age 50-something is still sexier than most 20-somethings that are walking around in 2016. Also, Jason Bateman and Olivia Munn are fine. They're functional in this movie. In all honesty, they weren't given a whole lot to work with. In that, I feel like they did the best they could with what they were given. So, they were fine. A lot of the humor in this movie felt improvised. It felt like stuff that you would do on the fly, like ad-libbing. And we do have some Saturday Night Live actors and actresses that are in this movie. So it makes sense that some of the humor would feel improvised. Sometimes they're successful. Sometimes it's comedic timing and it hits. Other times it's Problem is that its blessing is its curse. The improvisational aspect of his comedy is pretty cool, and that aspect, when it works, it's really good. When it doesn't work, the humor is really awkward, and they either beat a joke over your head until it's no longer funny, or they say a joke that is clear they are just going for shock value and the effect wears off very, very quickly, which makes the whole joke and the timing of the joke feel awkward, like you're supposed to laugh, but you don't. There's no point in criticizing the movie for its story. I mean, it's a pretty basic, simple-ass story. But I can critique the predictability of the story if I could. It's a very predictable story. You know exactly where they're gonna go from A to Z. You can predict every letter in between, just like you know the fucking alphabet. That applies to the jokes too. Some of these jokes are so obvious you can see them coming from a mile away. So this movie feels like 20 minutes too long. This movie had a point where it was going to end, and I was like, okay, let's end. And then the movie just kept going, and it kept going, And then it like ended 2 or 3 or 4 more times. As in the end, I can't say that there's anything offensively bad about this movie, but I also can't really recommend anything about it besides the fact that Jennifer Aniston is hot and there are a couple of improv jokes that work. It's very predictable, it's very cliched, the jokes are very, very, very hit or miss. I walked out of the movie feeling like it's pretty forgettable. This is a perfect guilty pleasure movie. It's a movie that you can watch and be somewhat entertained by. You turn your brain off, you might get a couple of laughs at it, maybe while drinking. In the end, I'm going to give this movie the guilty pleasure rating of Smallville. That's my review for Office Christmas Party. That's a movie that comes out this weekend. Let me know if you're going to go see it, and let me know what your favorite Christmas comedy is. It's that time of year. Might as well see what makes everybody laugh. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. As always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.